Good evening, everybody. So glad you're here. It has been a crazy week with technology for me. I have last night I just about cussed at the computer, but I decided tonight that we are just going to be here together and we're going to talk about accelerating into the new year. And if technology fails, we're just going to run with it and I'm not going to get frustrated. I love using technology, so we'll see if we can master it tonight. But I would like for to give you a tip as to how you can maybe master technology. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can um, tag people in the comments that you might want to join us now or later because it will stay there recorded. If you're in the Zoom, you could invite people on Zoom or tell them to join us on Facebook, either one. But we've got a fun night in store for you guys. I will tell you one thing. This has been one of those weeks. So, you're anybody want to raise their hand and say they're just busy with Christmas? I mean, it's exciting, but it gets out of hand sometimes. It gets so busy, so much stuff to do. We've got 27 people coming to our house this week, like staying with us like crazy. And so I was doing my normal stuff this week. And Monday I go to play pickleball, and I do play pretty intense. But normally I would have my hair combed and no hat on for an event like this. But I decided I was going to play so intense that when I went after a ball, I met the bleachers. So I have staples in my head. But I'm good. I'm okay. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be in any Christmas pictures without a hat on. But anyway, I'm glad to be with you guys tonight. It's going to be fun. We've got a lot to cover and a lot to do. Um, I wanted to ask you guys a question. I wanted to find out. Well, here's what we're talking about. Okay, there's the Zoom. The title we used is Accelerate into 2026. This is our fifth event of the year, and we started out last January, almost a year ago, with a plan and a process to make it the best year ever. And for some of you, it may be your best year ever. For others, you may have gotten sucked into a vortex, or you may have gotten frustrated, or digital issues may have overwhelmed you. I don't know. But you know what? If you hadn't pushed hard, just think about where you would be if you didn't hit your numbers for your best year ever. Okay. But what I want to ask you is, I want to ask you this. And you can raise your hand, you can use the chat, you can do whatever you want to do. Um, and Hope, if you will, I see there are a lot of people that needed to get admitted into Zoom, and I made you a co-host, so I'm hoping you're going to manage that. Um, Someone just asked to record the meeting too. It's being recorded, and we'll have that recording for you on YouTube and Facebook. So I want to know who's been here since the beginning. Who's been to all five of these? You can raise your hand. I can see Mark and Melinda. Mark's even got on my colors. Looks like he's got on my neon and my black. He's got on my colors over there. But raise your hand if you've been to all five of these, or maybe seen the recordings. I'd love to know. Just thank you for doing that. And let me just recap for a minute. If you've been with us the whole year, some of the people you would have heard speak once or multiple times would be our CEO, Travis Garza. I was just on the phone a few minutes ago with Tommy Newberry, who's one of my dear friends. He and I both have three kids. We've done our best to be godly dads and pour into them. And he was our speaker. He's amazing. He just did a 19-mile kind of hike, run, race. And his boys, one of them did a 100-mile run last week, and one of them did a 200-mile run. So they are fanatics. But he's an amazing guy, a good friend of mine. And maybe I'll share at the end. He's going to join me, I think, in a Bible study with some men. We're going to start on January the 18th, and Tommy's going to help me with that. But Jan Roberto, an amazing doctor from Ohio that you know, Wendy Campbell, Jesse Lepicki. We left off a letter there. Sorry, Jesse. Catherine Lee, Skylar Stephenson. Just texted with him. He's challenged me to a pickleball match in Arizona. He says he's ready for me. I don't know. My scar will be over with by then. David Beavers, my uncle, who's just a communications specialist. Loretta Wilkins, who's the leader of leaders, Don Rathman, who orchestrates everything, Carrie Daigle, who keeps punching, Christy Claimer. Christy and Ethany and Hope and I, we are launching this wellness reset. It's so much fun, but Christy is amazing. And somebody asked her how she built her business. She said, I just love people. And she does. And Stacy Whitmer, Stacy's name's misspelled too. We've got to get a hold of ChatGPT or something and get these. It's not Stavey. It's definitely Stacy. Kevin Saltzer spoke and talked about being fit and being, having the power of exercise and stuff behind you. We've got an exercise specialist tonight too. So what we want to talk about is, I want to thank all these speakers, number one, and I'll tell you at the end how you can go back and hear each of these if you want to go back and hear them. But as a leader, and many of you on here are leaders, but one of the things that I know that has to be done as a leader, if we're going to be effective and you want people to follow you, people like to follow leaders who clear the path, who bring clarity, who know where they're going and seemingly know how to get there. Sometimes you're weeding through the jungle and the fog. And one of the ways that we do that is just imagine, let's say you're trying to share with someone how to get on a new health journey. And then just imagine that same person, before you came their way and tried to bring clarity to the situation, what if that 35-year-old female walked into GNC at 10 a.m. and said, hey, I really want to get healthy. What should I take? And she's going to walk out, the clerk, either educated or not, she knows how to work the cash register, is going to give you a bag of goodies to walk out the door with. And if that same 35-year-old female walked into GNC, I'm just picking on that store, it could be Vitamin Shop or whatever, walked into that shop at 3 o'clock and there was a different clerk, but she asked the same question, same person, same question, she's going to get a different bag of goodies. That's how confusing this world is. But what if you could bring clarity and simplicity to that person? Wouldn't they want to follow you? And we're going to talk about that tonight. How do we bring clarity and focus so that people will follow us and we can move into this new year, not with all the baggage, but with a clear picture? And same thing with your business. You want to follow somebody who knows where they're going and knows what they're doing. And that's how we're going to accelerate into this new year. So I want you to feel like, yes, we are celebrating. We are celebrating what we started with this year's coming to an end. But I guess unless it's maybe a funeral, when you finish one task, and even if you believe in Jesus, if you're in a funeral, when you finish, I've got a friend who just died this week. When you finish that race, there's another race, eternities. The race you finish is just a blip on the scale. But anyway, when you hit something that's final like that, it seems like you're leaving this earth. It's one thing, but when you finish something, I want you to think about that as a new foundation for what's next. That's where, if you're at the end of a year, that's the best place for your mind to be, is that wherever you are right now, maybe you're where you wanted to be. We talked about in January, we talked about what would it look like for you to have a great year? What would that look like on December 2025? If you were looking backwards, what would that look like? So maybe you're having that amazing year. Maybe you didn't, but wherever you are right this minute, you have to make adjustments and realize that it's a new foundation for you to launch from. Wherever just be present wherever your feet are. Put them down, realize that place you're standing, and let's move forward into this new year, into this new place, okay? Now, you're going to say, gosh, Curt, I've heard that before. You're not teaching me anything new. And if you're expecting something like earth-shattering and new and a life-breaking principle tonight, this is not the night for that. There are times when I feel like I do get to share those kind of things with you. I think we have really taken like one principle, like urgency destroys procrastination. It's so true, but I've never lived that more than I have this past year. But I want to share with you something right now. I put it in the description of our Facebook post. Sorry for those of you that are waiting. I'm going to admit some people here. Okay. Um, put it in the Facebook post. What I put in there was that in order to accelerate and get where you want to go, simple is so important. And when I got in this business and I first saw Juice Plus, you know what I heard? They said, it's okay. We're not going to disrupt your life. We're not going to come in and clean out your pantsy. I'm not the nutrition Nazi where there's never anything tasty going in your mouth again. We're not going to like rob your pantry. I just want you to start. I want Juice Plus to be the catalyst in your life. And I want you to make one simple change. I want you to make one simple change. That's adding Juice Plus Essentials to your diet, to your life, to your family's life, and bridge the gap between you are and where you want to go. Okay. Now, the other thing that we talked about all the time is we talked about 4 core principles. Because I think everybody on there, we don't think that just taking a pill fixes everything. Did you know that you could take Juice Plus, and if you kept eating sugar and starches and donuts and you know had that horrible start to your day breakfast where you just spiked insulin and sugar and everything in your body because it was the easy, quick, cheap way to go, and tasty maybe too. No, there's some core things we need to be doing on top of taking Juice Plus. It's just like you can't out exercise a bad diet. I mean, you can't go to the gym every day with your having just finished your dozen donuts, or eat 6 and bring 6 in for your trainer. I mean, that's just not going to cut it. So there's one simple change, number one. And the second thing is implementing these 4 core things in your life. Now, I could do a training on each one of these, a long training, but we're just going to focus on each of the 4 for a minute. And I want to confess something here. So I had a doctor and some other speakers that were going to be on here tonight, and Christmas and chaos just hit. And so it's me and an amazing guest speaker to talk with us about exercise, and I'll introduce her in a minute. But I'm kind of glad that it's this laid back environment. I'm excited to share with you. The first one, rest, is just something so important to me. But I did want to share with you. I would love if you put in the comments, if you want to, what are some ways that each of you on here are learning? Are you reading? Are you doing things to learn how to get healthier? One of the things I'm doing right now, it really should be called a metabolic IQ, but some of you know that I went through a battle with my sugar and my metabolism, and steroids from a stent in the hospital, intensive care. Never got the vaccine, never got on a ventilator, but it was 18 days with COVID in the hospital. It was 3 Christmases ago. Crazy, huh? I was actually in the hospital over Christmas. That's one of the things I'm grateful for at Christmas, is to be home with family. But I'm actually in the process of getting certified. It's called insulin IQ, but so many people connect insulin only with diabetes that it's a shot you take for diabetes. But it's a hormone that controls so much in our body. I'm so excited to share more with you, but not tonight. I've got a lot of that behind me, and it's all related to our gut health. It's related to PCOS for women, infertility issues. I mean, it's unbelievable what this metabolic process and what's happening in our mitochondria. And there's even more to tell about what our new Superbiome product does in terms of stimulating what should happen in the mitochondria. Learned a new word this week. Plasmalogens are things that inulin in our superbiome. It helps produce plasmalogens, which make our cell barriers stronger and hardier. And they let things in when they should and keep things out when they should. So, I mean, it's amazing what I'm learning. But let's focus on these 4 tonight. But the reason I brought that up, and I'll close with this too, is we have 60 plus individuals, educators, and professionals that are going to, for free, no charge, starting January 5th, they're going to take 30 days and you're going to get 60 plus health educations, health journeys, health tips on video in a Facebook group we're creating for you called the Wellness Reset. So we want you to join us. More details to come. It's not even going to open until December 26th, but get with your upline leader or whatever and find out more about that, and just be ready. You can message me or Hope or Christy Claimer or Ethany Defoe, and we can make sure you get in that group. You can just go find me on Facebook or wherever you want to find me, and I'll make sure you're in there. Actually, if you go look at my post today, it's about that. And if you just heart the post or say invite, then I'll make sure I get you an invitation. Okay. So let's talk about rest first. Let's go after, let's do rest first of all. So one of the pillars, let me go back. I'm going to show you one more thing. This may seem like I'm making things longer, but I want to go back for 1 second. Hang on here. Here we go. Okay. I want you to think about this. I know it looks like a Roman Colosseum, but I want you to think of that as a house, okay? I want you to think of that image as a house. And we're going to take one simple change to all the families that we know and install these pillars so that we can build healthy homes across the world. And if you will think about the healthy homes or healthy families that you can go impact, here's the difference. I'm going to ask you the question. I know you know the answer. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. But guess what? Nobody ever tells you what size spoon you have to use. You ever thought about that? So if you go after individuals and you build your business one customer at a time, to me, that feels like you're using a teaspoon. If you build your business and go after families and homes and households, to me, that feels like you're using a big shovel to eat the elephant instead of a teaspoon. Huge difference, okay? I mean, like massive, huge difference. But let's talk about these pillars, because I think this is what it's going to feel like as we do this reset and come together and build community and love on each other and inspire each other to be healthier. After a while, Jay said our mission was to inspire healthy living around the world, not just to sell it, but to inspire it. So let's talk rest. Oh my gosh. In this study I'm doing right now, I mean, one of the things that gets your metabolism off more than anything and gets your cortisol all messed up is not enough sleep, not enough rest. And I read a book a long time ago and it really began to talk about, how God designed us to have a Sabbath and for us to rest. And he rested, then he created, and he rested, then he created when creation happened. And so there's this pendulum that exists, and I have illustrations, but they're not for tonight. It's like a pendulum. It swings back and forth, and you've got rest on one side, and you've got work on the other. And as a culture, we have, or the way we live our lives is that we work. Maybe some are workaholics, but we work until we collapse and have to rest. We exhaust ourselves. And sometimes it's not just work. Sometimes it's work and you come home and, this book I read, Making Room for Life by Randy Frazee, one of the things it said was, you're going to think I'm crazy, but it said one of the biggest problems with our sleep is man designed and created through the light bulb, actually, created a nocturnal world that God never designed to exist. Think about that. And the reason he says that is not that light bulbs are bad, but you get serotonin in the morning. And by the way, your super biome will help you with GLP, and the probiotics help secrete serotonin, which is where most of it's made in your gut. But God gave us serotonin that's triggered by light, sunlight. And then he gave us melatonin, which is triggered by the slowing down in the evening and the darkness. Why do you think our world has trouble sleeping? I can tell you places right now where 9-year-old little leagues play games under the lights at 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, because the fields are so crowded. What do? We come home, and when we're supposed to unwind and prepare for rest, we come home, unwind, and turn the lights on, and our body says, oh, it must be morning again. Let's start all over. And then you come back home after that, and you're full of serotonin, and you can't sleep. It's no wonder. I mean, it's common sense if you really think about it. So we work and play till we're so exhausted we collapse. And what we're supposed to do, and the way God designed this body of ours and this circadian cycle and sleep that we're supposed to have, you know what he said? He said, I want you to rest so that you might work better. Do you hear a difference? Are you going to work and do activities until you collapse? Or are you going to rest so that you might work and be more productive? So here's your challenge on this first pillar for you. And you say, well, Curt, why are you taking this course on the metabolic process and the role insulin plays in our bodies and why, insulin's just a drug for diabetics? No, insulin's way more than that. It controls so much. And most people have hyperinsulinemia. They have too much insulin, but nobody ever measures it. They just measure their glucose. Why am I taking all those courses? So I can be of more value to the people I'm around. What if you could learn this about rest? This is just one of the 4 principles. But what if you could learn right now, if you could learn that your body will function at its highest level if you rest first so that you can work better instead of work till collapse and then rest. So here's your challenge. This is your first thing you want to write down and take notes on. So in terms of rest, for yourself first, because if you're going to accelerate into 2026, you got to be the lead dog. You got to be the tip of the spear. So you better be ready. So let's get your body ready. And then let's take these skills, tactics, and things that we learn and share those. Then we're more valuable. Then we're more attractive. And then we don't have to recruit because people are attracted to us as leaders. We're full of the fuel and the wisdom that they want. So here's your tip. I want you to take some season, whether it's this next week, I would say do it for 30 days at least. Maybe if you join us in the wellness reset, maybe you could do this for the month of January and see if you can make a habit out of it. Because you know what? If you make New Year's resolutions, this is cray-cray. But did you know that I think it was 93, but I know it was 90 plus. I don't remember the number. 90+% of the New Year's resolutions, not resolutions, are all broken by January the 19th. Think about that. The people in the world that are setting New Year's resolutions for things that they want to make better and do right and do better next year, 90+% of them are already broken by January the 19th. Just see if you can do this for 30 days. Here's the challenge. Set an alarm clock for what time you want to go to bed. Schedule your sleep. And I have an Apple Watch. I don't know how many of you have an Apple Watch. Some of you have one of those whoopee cushion things, the whoopies. I'm just kidding. It's a whoop. Some of my kids have one, and I'm like, they're stressed out because, Dad, I didn't sleep good last night. How do you know? That's what my whoop says. I said, well, how do you feel? I feel great. Well, I've got to do better tonight. I've got to do better. It's in this yellow zone, and my numbers are off. Well, my Apple Watch is telling me that kind of stuff now too. And if you use the data to be the catalyst and the little prod for you to do better, it's awesome. Don't let it be something that makes you worry and be anxious, or just take it off your arm, okay? But I want you to schedule sleep, and 7 to 9 hours is the magic number. I lived on 6 forever, and it was actually a mistake. Our bodies need 7 to 9 hours, and I shoot for 8. I do 8:30. My goal is 8:30 to 4:30. 8:30 to 4:30 is my goal. And I have my watch, and it tells me when it's time to wind down. It reminds me. And there's some nights when I'm up later, and then I just sleep later. But my rhythm in my body, that's my goal, is 8:30 to 4:30. So How many of you, raise your hands, put it in the comments, how many of you would, the month of January, I want you to set an alarm for when it's time to go to bed? And there's some other things too. I mean, this is hard, but you shouldn't eat the last 4 hours of you being awake. I mean, at least 3. 4 is the target. But your last food, your last intake of food should be 4 hours before you go to bed. But make it at least 3, okay? And then I'm trying to do this. I'm not there yet. I'm just telling you, I'm not there yet. I read books a lot and I'm trying to shift, but I'm usually like trying to relax. And you probably, everybody would say, well, I know this about you, Curt, but I do everything kind of with intensity. I mean, I'm kind of just live a life of relaxed intensity. But at night, if I get into a book and get my highlighter out, I mean, I kind of get aggressive with the highlighter, trying to savor everything I want to remember. So my typical thing is to grab my iPad and get on YouTube or listen to a podcast or catch up on me and Chat GPT will go at something. He sends me he's learned what I think is important and he'll give me a little feed every day I can look at. But what I'm trying to do, this is hard, guys. They say the last 2 hours. I mean, I'm trying to do the last hour right now, but you're not supposed to be looking at a screen the last 2 hours before you go to bed. It just does something. So maybe you can do an hour or 30 minutes. Like that's what I'm trying to do right now. Okay. But we don't want to be looking at screens right into going to bed. It's hard. It's really, really hard. Okay. So that's rest. We're just going to take as long as we need to take tonight. Okay. So how many of you, would anybody like to ask a question about that? We'll just take 1 or 2 questions. You can, I'll change it so that you can unmute yourself. I think I can fix that. Let's see. Okay. It's set so you can unmute yourself. But let's give it like a few seconds. And if anybody on Zoom, sorry, on Facebook, Hope and I will get to the comments and we'll answer your questions, but I can't see all those right now. If anybody has a question, speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. It's okay. Hopefully you're enjoying. I love this kind of stuff. I mean, I love these principles. The next one we're going to talk about, though, is remember, here's where we were just a minute ago. We were talking about, let me go back. We were talking about exercise. We're talking about rest. The next one is exercise. And this is the one where I've got a special guest. And let me describe for you this person. You're going to be excited. I've known her for over 20 years. She's an amazing national marketing director in our business. Her husband is a pastor. She's moved 3 or 4 times since she got in this business. I mean, even moved while she was trying to make national marketing director. It's been a crazy, crazy journey. But she'll tell you the number, but she has 3 great daughters, but she's been a fitness trainer and been committed to fitness for over 40 years, I think. I don't want to age her because she's a beautiful lady, but she's got so much wisdom about taking the act of exercise. Number one, just like rest, she's going to make it non-negotiable, but she's going to give you a simple plan of how to get there. So I want you to listen for just a minute. It is recorded. She's not here live with us, but she did this just for you. I want you to listen to Debbie Walton as she talks to you about the second pillar for us to accelerate into 2026. First of all, for ourselves, and then for us to have a resource that we're committed to that we can share and makes us attractive to others. So here's Debbie, okay?
Hey, Curt, thank you so much for inviting me to share my passion for the last 48 years. How can we accelerate our health in 2026? And the new science truly shows us how to accelerate it. Our bodies are amazing machines I believe made by God. And whether you do or not, the science is going to back up what I'm going to share with you. Decide in 2026 to give your amazing body some love. Research shows that we are literally dying for lack of maintenance. Sitting is the new smoking. I'm sure you've heard that. Don't you want to stay high functioning and strong for life? The great news is short workouts can have profound results. Technique does matter. Let's look into what the science shows. The top benefit I share with my clients may surprise you. It's mental health. Moving your body relieves stress, depression, even can relieve bipolar symptoms, ADHD, PTSD, slows cognitive decline, sign me up, increases memory, increases self confidence. I've seen this over and over again with my clients. It improves your life. Want to know my 3 steps to fit health? Number one of importance, especially after age 35, 40. But I believe before, I actually started at 19 strength training. I saw guys getting great pecs, and I'm like, yes, sign me up. I like that style of training. Little did I know that it would increase my clients' self confidence and happiness more than any other style of exercise. Do you know that at age 22, approximately 45% of your body weight is muscle? And at 40, it starts declining by 8% a year. And by 75, it can be less than 25%. This can increase your risk of falls, which is a leading cause of death, you guys, costing the average falling person about $9,000 in medical costs if they survive. More, you want more benefit? Decreases risk of diabetes, cancer, heart attack, increases your metabolism, you guys. Weight loss, being able to stay a good weight for life without starving. Have you ever seen a 2 year old moving? That's what a muscle cell looks like on the inside. It stays so busy all the time, even when you're sleeping. It increases your caloric burn 24/7. So, the great news is you can get excellent results from just 2 times a week. One strength training session a week is way better than nothing. Nothing is not good, you guys. So be sure and work out your arms, your legs, your glutes, and your core. The results start with the first workout. Your nerves in your muscles shoot message to the brain. Wow, we need more coordination and more strength. And you'll start feeling that coordination and strength in 3 workouts. That is fast, you guys. You can use your own body weight with push ups. If you're not ready for those, do push offs of the counter, squats, lunges. I love step back lunges. Some people call them reverse lunges. Instead of stepping forward, you step back because that saves the knees. Bands are one of my favorites, very inexpensive tool, and you can move your body in the way that is natural for movement. Love free weights. Get just a few free weights if you want to work out at home. If you love going to the gym, go to the gym. Whatever floats your boat. But if you're brand new, 3 to 5 pounds, you guys, starting off, and after your training, keep going up. You need to get to the heavier weights when you're ready for them. Okay, don't stay on too light of weight. Start light, but as you get stronger, increase the weight to where you are really wiped by the 8th to 12th rep, you guys. And so 1 to 2 sets, 8 to 12 reps where it's really challenging you. And here's new information just out a few weeks ago for more advanced fit weightlifters, you guys. Have you seen the science that have very heavy weight where you can only perform 4 to 6 reps in a set actually gets you better results? Man, that is a time saver. Try that out, you guys. Step number 2, cardio. Of course, it's great for your cardiovascular system, decreases stress, the right kind. Make sure you're not pushing yourself so hard that it's stressing you and raising your cortisol. I love walking. How do you make walking more effective? And we're going to get you some links of my favorite tips on walking, but here you go. Alternate, do intervals, alternate your speed, slow, fast, and alternate your style. Race walking, where you put your heel right in front of your toes and swing those arms and swivel those hips. You've seen race walking. And then power walking, stretch those legs out and really roll it heel, toe, heel, toe. That pumping motion of the foot is one of the best things you can do for your lymph system, you guys. And then when you get pretty coordinated, walk backwards during every walking session. Walk backwards. It trains the opposite muscles and it's going to feel great to your knees. Outdoor walking is the best because you're challenging your balance, which is another critical component of fitness on that uneven terrain. It's proven that getting outdoors, God made nature, man made struck buildings, okay, getting outdoors improves mental health tremendously. So if you can get outside, but if you're using a treadmill, you can still alternate the incline up, down, and the speed. Make sure you're varying for more results. And you know, the 10,000 step idea, that has no science behind it. That was a marketing ploy by pedometer salespeople. Okay, the science shows that 7,000 steps may be the magic number. Are you relieved? Okay, but it needs to be that alternate fast, slow, not just wimpy little steps walking around your house just to get the steps in, you guys. That's about 3.5 miles. And this the results at 7,000 show dramatic health improvement from a 47% decrease in all cause mortality, you guys. And even 4,000 steps really improves your fitness level. So, and there you go, walking. I love it. Also, I love rebounding. You guys, rebounding is excellent. You can jump on a mini trampoline, and NASA has shown that 10 minutes on a mini trampoline gives you almost 60% more results than a 30-minute jog. Uh, the trampoline absorbs some of the impact, so you actually get a high intensity workout, lower impact, great for the joints. So I like the trampolines that have the bar, so that as you get more fit, you can hold on and jump higher. But start off easy, you guys. A mini trampoline is a great way to go. And then I have a special, incredible 5-minute workout. It's called the nitric oxide rush. It's like a hit interval, and it actually depletes the oxygen from your major muscle groups, and it comes rushing back in, okay, so that the oxygen comes rushing back in. It causes release of nitric oxide. And if you don't know how important nitric oxide is, well, look it up, Google it. When the scientist that discovered what it does, that it opens up your arteries, he won the Nobel Prize for that discovery. And what I love, is this powerful nutrition that most of us have been taking for years, 23 years for us. When I found out in the Journal of American College of Cardiology that these simple concentrated plants increase your nitric oxide release, and it was highlighted as a must read for cardiologists. I'm like, I have heart disease in my family. Sign me up. Okay. That was the number one study that got me to take these concentrated plants. And then just a couple of years later, the science came out on fitness training in medicine and sports medicine and science and sports exercise. That's the American College of Sports Medicine, showing that it greatly improved the protection from hard workouts. So you're not going to get as sore. You're not going to have as much to recover. You're going to have more energy. You guys, that's not my section on nutrition, but if you don't fuel your body, don't expect as much out of it. Okay. And then step three, flexibility, stretch what you've strengthened. That's kind of the rule of thumb. If you've strengthened your legs that day, stretch your legs. If you strengthen your arms, stretch your arms. Make sure you've got perfect posture when you're stretching, you guys. I can get you some links on my favorite stretches as well. And so, according to your tightness, after you work out, okay, after you work out, we don't stretch at the beginning anymore unless you have some real joint problems. You could do a 1 minute warm up and then do a little light stretching before you work out. But if you don't have joint problems, you save that stretch till after. And if you're super tight, you want to stretch after every workout. If you're not tight, you can actually just stretch after about every other workout and hold that stretch for 15 seconds minimum, or you might as well have not done it. Think of it as trying to stretch a rubber band. If you keep strengthening your body and don't stretch it, the muscle that's getting stronger actually pulls away from your joints and will pull those joints out of place eventually. So if you don't stretch, it's not if you're going to get hurt or injured, it's when are you going to get injured. And then you, you know, practice some flexibility and posture for what we call tech neck, you guys. That's a real problem today. Bending over our phones, bending over our computer. Roll your shoulders back. Okay, pull your head back. And then I'm going to show you one of my favorite stretches. I love this one. Push your shoulder down, tilt your head kind of diagonally, and feel that stretch right there. Hold it 15 seconds, come out of it really slow, and repeat the other side. I love that stretch when I've been on my phone working or my computer for a bit too long. And so, thank you so much for letting me share. Helping others get strong for life has been my focus and passion for 48 years. And I am going to be coming out hopefully this month, in January, with my first of an ebook series, Strong for Life, with links to a few of my most time efficient, most effective workouts. And so for now, remember to take good care of yourself. You belong to you.
Hey, Debbie, thank you so much. That was awesome. And I see you just joined us and you got to see yourself and you did an amazing job. Thank you for doing that video for us. And I want to ask you, Debbie, I'll get to ask you in private, but you got on a little bit late. I have 4 staples in my head, and you said it's not a matter of if you get injured if you don't stretch. Do you think stretching would have protected my head on the pickleball court? I don't know. I do stretch though. You know, Debbie, one of the things that I've done, and I'd love to hear what other people are doing. I want cardio 4 days a week, and I want strength and lifting at least 2 days a week. What would be your, after hearing Debbie and hearing her thoughts, and what's the best exercise? Actually, it's the one that you'll do, but consistency beats an occasional surge. So make sure you're consistent. So thank you, Debbie. You did. I'm glad I didn't have to do that exercise one by myself because you are the bomb. It's amazing. Thank you for doing that. All right, let's cover the next one. This is one we all know about. And the reason I know you know about this is there are many of you on here tonight that I'm not picking on you, but you have a Stanley water bottle in the color to match every outfit. There are a lot of women on here who have as many Stanleys as they do purses. There are a lot in my house. I mean, there are even different shades of the same color in my house. All mine are black. I just get black ones. But I do love the water bottle motivates me. If you get the right straw and the right handle and all that kind of stuff. But what's the deal with water and hydration? I mean, how many of you know people that you say like never drink water? Like I don't think Donald Trump ever drinks water. I don't know how. I mean, he's an anomaly to health, but whatever. But I see people they don't drink water. They're not hydrated. And I just recruited somebody from Australia, and I sent it. We were talking, and he said, "Well, what do y'all recommend on this hydration thing?" He's actually a chiropractor, and he's in Florida now. But I said, "Well, you need half your body weight in water," and he just listened to me, and we didn't talk anymore that day, I don't think. And I'd send him a book to read, and he thanked me, and we were talking about his wife and his kids and what products they wanted to get and which products they needed. And he said, "Hey, I got to ask you something." He said, "I know I'm from Australia, but I mean, how do you drink that much water?" And I had left out a word because he is like, okay, Curt said that it's healthy if you drink half your body weight in water. So he was trying to figure out, okay, he weighs about the same thing I did. We both weigh about 200 pounds. He said, "I don't know how in the world Curt drinks 100 pounds of water a day. I forgot to say half your body weight in ounces." So he was like, he spent like the better part of 3 days because he believed me and thought, I mean, he trusted me. And well, if Curt says that's what he do, I'm sure he does it. But I can't imagine drinking 100 pounds of water a day. And so we had to clarify that. But that's the goal I've always heard is half your body weight in ounces. And it's so important, guys. I mean, when you're dehydrated, you're just messed up. Your gut doesn't work well. Your skin doesn't look good. Your electrolytes can get out of balance. When your blood pressure goes down, what do? They give you more fluids because your body's dehydrated to bring the level of fluids in your body up, which helps regulate your blood pressure. So, here's one of my tips. So how many of you love your cup of coffee in the morning? I love my coffee to sit down on my Bible and have my quiet time, just so that I could start getting the right amounts of water in me. I get up in the morning. I used to just make my coffee and go to my chair and get my Bible out. But now I get up and I take either my Yeti or my Owala water bottle. My Owala water bottle is my favorite. Put in the comments, which one's your favorite water bottle? I love the Owala because it doesn't spill and you can suck it like a straw or you can turn it up and sip it. I think they have a patent on that spout, but I like that one. I have a 40-ounce one. And my rule to Curt, this is Curt's rule to Curt, is Curt can't have his first cup of coffee till he's finished 40 ounces of water. I don't allow myself to have my first cup of coffee till I've had 40 ounces of water. And then I usually play pickleball 3 or 4 mornings a week. And then I take a gallon jug with me to play pickleball every day. And I drink that. And then usually I have some water in my Illuminate in the afternoon. So I've gotten really good on my regimen of hydrating. So I don't know what you do, but it's that important. Come up with some kind of system. And if people see you with your water bottle, they see you filling up your water bottle, they hear you talking about water, about staying hydrated, it's contagious. And people, you know what I think people would like is if I didn't have my little morning routine, I would love for somebody else to help hold me accountable to drinking more water. So we have a Berkey water filter in our house, which is really cool. If you don't have one, look it up, Berkey, Berkey water filter. And it's gravity fed, so it'll work no matter, even if your power's out. But me and Hope and Lori and our little dogs and Mary Grace, we all have our the dogs have their bowls. We have our cups, and we all we just like, did you get any water? Did you get any water? Did you fill the Berkey up? So we're holding each other accountable. So one of the things as a leader that you could do is, how are you going to hold and encourage, like Barnabas encouraged Paul? Remember that in scripture? He was like his running mate. What are you going to do to encourage those that you run and do life with? What are you going to do to encourage them to drink more water? And best thing you could do is just be an example to start with, Okay, we're going to go to the last one. I know we're over an hour, or we're close. Sorry, we're getting long here, but this is going to be a fun one. This is food. When we first had this 4 core laid out there, I think this said whole food. And I've changed it to food. You may not like that, but I want it to be, yes, whole food, but my main thing to encourage people for their diet and their intake to be a pillar of their life is that it be non-processed food. I believe there are lots of good foods we can eat out there. I think grass-fed beef is good. I think salmon is good. I think plant-based things are great. But I think we've discovered that a lot of the things that God put on this earth for us to eat, animals and plants and fish, they're all good. God made all of them. They're all good. We got canine teeth in our mouth, but we've got hormones and nasty stuff that's been put in all of our foods, and you don't know what's safe to eat. And it's hard. It's really hard. So I applaud those of you that are plant-based 100%. And I think that's great that you pursue that goal. I applaud those of you that want to have some animal proteins in your diet, but you pursue grass-fed and free range and fresh caught salmon, and you do the things that make what you intake good for you. But just like we talked about half your body weight in water every day, how many of you would like a kind of a food goal? There are three food groups. I mean, I'm going to look, I can see Facebook and Zoom and YouTube. Who could name what are the main 3 food groups? Does anybody know? Just quick. Does anybody, if you were to divide all foods into 3 groups, what are the 3 food groups? Who knows? I love getting feedback and interaction. Okay, protein, carbs, and fats. Okay, all right. I think that's we'll call that close enough. That's it. Protein, carbs, and fats. Fibers can come from different sources, but fibers there too for sure. So protein, carbs, and fats are our 3 food groups. And here's what I've learned, and I'm still learning. Okay, but what makes me feel the best and what fuels my body the best and gives my body the best numbers, and that I found out over the years, is as I tried to move more exclusively into plant-based, for me, everybody's different, okay? For me, I didn't do a very good job of eating enough proteins, and so carbs became my source of food to fill me up when I was trying to go plant-based. So what I would challenge you to look at, and I'm not an expert, okay? But if you want to do half your body weight in water in ounces, a good goal is, there are very few people that are right at their desired weight, but let's say you weighed 170 pounds right now. And then I want you to think about, what do you think your optimal weight or your desired weight is? And let's just say you weigh 170, and let's say you'd like to weigh 150, okay? So you want to lose 20 pounds to get to what you would consider your optimal weight. What I believe, and I've heard and I've read from like multiple sources, is if you set your protein intake to grams of protein to the same number as your desired weight, not your weight right now, but if you created a diet, whether it's plant-based proteins or animal proteins or a combination, but you made a decision for 2026 that you were going to take in the number of grams of protein equal to the pounds, how much you would weigh at your desired weight, I think you would see dramatic changes in your life. Now, both proteins are good, plant proteins, animal proteins. You have to eat a little bit more plants to get to the same grams. The animal proteins are a little bit more efficient, but that doesn't mean that's what you need to do. I am so excited about anybody on here that's gotten to a place of a major clean eating, and maybe you're a vegan or a vegetarian or what's a pescatarian, I guess, where you eat fish, and there's another one where you just eat eggs. I think eggs are important personally. The only place you can get choline is in eggs, and I love eggs. But that's a good challenge. I want you to explore for yourself. I'm just sharing with you what I'm learning, that I believe we live in a world of a lot of protein deprived people. And let me tell you a story. This is just one of them. And the other food group, we just talked about proteins and carbs, but the other food group, healthy fats, it's been destroyed. It's actually, if your body can create its energy off fats, that's where you're the most satisfied and you have the least hunger to munch and snack and eat dumb stuff you shouldn't eat. But in our country, about 50 years ago, or maybe it was the 50 years ago, or I think it was the 1950s, there was a president. I don't remember which one it was, but a president either had a massive heart attack or died of a heart attack in the 1950s. And there was a doctor at the time, I think his name was Dr. Ansel Keys, and he decided that president died because he was eating too much fat. And from that point forward, that was the beginning of telling the world to not eat fats. That was when all the carbs came out that were low fat. Carbs don't have fats. Sugars don't have fats. So the sugar industry for about 50 years has paid for advertising to tell everybody not to eat fats. Let me show you something. It's very, very interesting. I'm going to tell you this. I'm having to look it up on my phone. I'm going to find it. It's right here. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Time magazine. Okay. Time magazine in 1961. On the cover is Dr. Ansel Keys, and it's zero fat diet. Don't eat any fats. 1984, the cover of Time magazine is cholesterol, and it's a smiley face with 2 fried eggs and a piece of bacon making a frowny face. And 2025, Time magazine, the cover is Eat More Butter for Your Health. Now, all those are extremes, okay? But what I'm telling you is fats are good, but we need to eat good fats. Nuts, seeds, avocados. And I'll give you this last thing. I know you're probably tired of me telling you all this stuff, and you think you're not a doctor. Why are you saying this? But I'm learning. And the way you learn is you learn how it affects your own body. Then you really believe it and you see it. So the reason we get all this visceral fat and belly fat is because we train our body to get all its energy from carbohydrates and glucose. And that probably a lot of people on this call, me included, did you know that prediabetes is a huge problem in our culture today? And most people develop insulin resistance or hypoinsulinemia. It means you have too much insulin 10 to 15 years before that's diagnosed. And it's because we build a diet of carbs and glucose and sugar, and we live off of sugars and carbs, and our body doesn't burn fat. Our body does not learn or loses its ability or knowledge or efficiency in burning fat. So we store fat and live off of sugar and carbs. And what we have to reverse as a culture, we have to reverse so that our body can burn fat. Because that visceral fat and that fat around and fatty liver is killing a lot of people. It's crazy. Okay. So I'm not going to go into more detail. I could talk forever. And as I get more of this training behind me and get more, I want to talk about it some more because it's fascinating to me, all these different things. But let me go back to this slide and go right here. So I would really like for each of us to think about launching, accelerating, turning on our afterburners to move into 2026 with these 4 pillars. I think these 4 core and talking about one simple change, bringing back those 2 things that really were the philosophies upon which our business was built. Make one simple change, bridge the gap, and do these 4 core things in your life. Well, we want to help you launch your rocket in 2026. So the wellness reset is coming. It's all over Voxer. It's all over Facebook. You can find it, I promise. Message somebody in the chat. I know Christy's on here. Christy and I were talking about, how hard it is. She was sharing. We were talking yesterday about the exercise thing Debbie talked about, how she says, I love to do the, aerobic stuff. I hate lifting weights. How many of you are like that? Do something that's hard. Just because it's not easy doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And we were talking about that, and we were talking about, I've learned, I love to eat. I make bread out of flaxseed. I make flaxseed bread, which is protein and no carbs and good fats. It's crazy how good that bread is, but I had to learn and find and seek that out, So we're going to learn all those things in the Wellness Reset. I get to talk about GLP-1 in your gut. I'm excited about that. That's my topic. But we're going to do that starting January 5th, and we'll have the group open and things starting to happen on the 26th, right after Christmas. You can go back on Facebook, youtube.com/makealife, and watch all of the Best Year Ever events from this year with Travis and all the amazing speakers we talked about earlier. But thank you so much for taking a moment in your busy schedule tonight to listen to me. Some years are harder than others. 2023, 4, and 5 have felt like hard years to me. We've made progress, but we never quite got where we turned the afterburners on and the jet fuel on. And I can tell you, I got 2 new customers in the last 24 hours, just flawlessly with our technology. It's working just amazing. We're not even 1 ounce of problem. 2 new customers. Somebody made Partner Plus, and I helped someone delay 2 people's orders because they didn't want them to come until January. It's just like, it was so easy. Boom. You just got to learn how to do it on the new system. And it's actually easier than the old system. But I understand it's been hard. But it's time to move past the hardness we've had and to launch into a new place. I think my word for 2026 is going to be abundance, which doesn't mean rocks and, watches and cars and luxury things. Abundance means the opposite of living with a scarcity mindset, trying to, just to curl back and do the best you can with what you have. No, abundance says, I want to live with God's resources. I used to think the opposite of abundance might be fear, but it's really scarcity. The opposite of fear is faith. And so are you going to live an abundant life knowing it's not your resources, it's the Creator's resources that you have the supply of if you focus on His task and do what He calls you to do? And if you have faith, it'll overcome whatever fear you have. Okay? One last food for thought. I know it's changing the subject, but if you want, you can message me. But I read in November probably the second best book I've ever read besides the Bible. And it's really a book for men. Women it would be great to marry it because of your relationship with your spouse or future spouse, or and learning about the godly role of men and women. But the book is called Stand Firm and Act Like a Man. It's by Joby Martin, and it calls men to become the man God called you to be, not the man the world says you are. And I'm going to start a Bible study on Zoom on Sunday nights, January the 18th. Any of you men are invited. Any of your hubbies are invited. Your kids, your team, your downline, if they want to join us, we're going to do it at 8:00 on Sunday nights. More's coming. It'll be an 8-week Bible study. Be a great gift for you to grab for your spouse. Stand Firm and Act Like Men by Joby Martin. And I'm excited about doing that Bible study too, starting January the 18th. And there'll be more details coming. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I apologize for that moment with the audio muting. That's my challenge for the next 24 hours, same problem we had last night, was you could see, but you couldn't hear. And then there was a point where you could hear and you couldn't see. So we'll figure all that out. God bless. Have a wonderful, merry, amazing Christmas. And together, we're going to make next year the best ever. I'm so excited about it. Really going to be a great year. God bless. Good night. See y'all later.